Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here, and at the beginning of the year, the state that I live in, Missouri, passed constitutional carry or permitless carry. So at the beginning of the year, we could start carrying without getting a concealed carry permit. Just in the state of Missouri, if you went over state lines, you would have to have a concealed carry permit that carried over to those different states. But in the state of Missouri, to carry a gun, you don't need a permit. And I started carrying. I don't carry a whole lot because I don't really go anywhere besides work, and I can't carry at work. But when I do carry, I tend to carry a full-size pistol, at least in the winter months or the fall, winter months, all the colder months. And the question has been going around the internet for a long time. Is it possible to carry a full-size pistol, and how easy or hard is it to carry, and how do you carry it, and all this? Because a lot of people say that you shouldn't carry anything other than like a single stack 9mm or something, and because full-size pistol is so hard to conceal. Well, I kind of disagree with that, and this is how I carry my full-size pistol. This is a Ruger P89. I've carried this P89 and another P89, and I've also carried a Taurus 85, which is a 38 Special. And I tend to carry them in this same manner, all of them in this same manner. Now I have noticed a few things since I've been carrying. I've kind of experimented on how, which position I want to carry in, and what holster to use. Well, kind of what holster to use. I only have 2 holsters right now. But I found that this is the easiest way to carry this gun, and it is fairly easy as well. I also carry 2 spare magazines right here, and I have them loaded up with hollow points, obviously, but this is pretty easy way to carry. This is a full gun, so I'm not gonna pull the trigger or anything, but basically the way I carry it is I have this gun belt by Core Essentials, I think it's what it's called, and it's a track line belt. It's reinforced. It's built to withstand the weight of a big pistol like this or a big revolver, and it works really well. If you need to tighten it up, you can just tighten it up one click. And the holster that I have for this one anyway is an Uncle Mike's inside the waistband holster. It is number 5, size 5. Basically it's for 4.5 inch to 5 inch barrels, I think. This is a 4.5 inch barrel gun, and it fits perfectly. And it works. And I've noticed a few things since I've been carrying, and that is that in order to carry this cross draw the way I do, the clip that clips onto my belt, it's not exactly in the right position. In other words, in order for it to be comfortable, the clip should have been canted just a little bit to allow for a little bit of a slant on the gun, just to make it easier. That's for a cross draw. Now if you had it on the other side, I think it still kind of cants a little just naturally, like when you sit down or something, but I don't think it does it as bad. But I found it's not as comfortable over here. I usually carry it, when I carried it over here, I carried it at the 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock position, whatever you want to call that. So on this side I carried at the 9 o'clock, 9:30 area. And I decided to carry it over here because over here, when I would sit down, I was kind of sitting on my gun, and it wasn't as comfortable as it is over here, where it's a little further forward over here. It is somewhat at the front of my body, whereas over here it's at the back of my body, and it's just easier to get it over here, especially if you're wearing a jacket like this. You can just unzip your jacket and pull it out. Now another thing that I have noticed is you're going to want to be aware of what clothing you're wearing, because for instance this jacket has a lot of excess fabric behind the zipper. I don't know why. And when I was practicing my draw last night, I unzipped and the fabric got caught on the gun, and if I needed to use the gun, it would have hindered my ability to actually pull it out. So just something to keep in mind. Make sure if you're wearing a jacket, you don't have excess fabric if you're doing a cross draw like this. If you have your gun over here like this, it's not as big of a deal. You can just pull up and then pull out. But again, I found that's not very comfortable, and I've carried 3 different guns, well, I guess kind of 2 different guns, in both of these positions, and I found on all of those guns that this is the most comfortable for me. Again, I'm not a very big guy. I guess I'm kind of a medium-sized guy. I'm not super skinny, but I'm not fat either. So yeah, this is as far as I've, with all the experience that I've had carrying a gun, this is the most comfortable. Now, in the summertime, of course, I'm not going to be wearing a jacket, and in fact, even in the wintertime or in the colder months, if you're like doing a lot of shopping like I did today, I was carrying exactly like I am now, except with a different jacket. And I was walking around the store and it started to get hot, but I was thinking, I really can't unzip my jacket because, people are going to see my gun. And there's no law against open carry. In other words, it is legal. It is perfectly legal in Missouri to open carry. But I didn't want to open carry because, you unzip your jacket and people see a gun and they may freak out. So I just kind of dealt with being hot, and that's kind of another thing to keep in mind if you're concealed carrying a full-size pistol in this manner. So you may ask yourself, why carry all that extra weight around? Why carry a full-size gun as opposed to a compact or a subcompact or even like a J-frame revolver? Basically, in my opinion, it's just more effective. Because think about it. With this gun here, I've got 16 plus 1 in the chamber, plus I have 2 spare mags. These 2 particular mags, one of them is a 10 rounder because that's just what I had loaded up at the time, but the other one is a 15 rounder. So if I had 2 16 round magazines in here, plus a 16 round plus 1 in the chamber, that's a lot of rounds. Whereas when I'm carrying this gun here, this is a Taurus Model 85. This is only a 5-shot revolver, and it's still very effective. I do trust my life to this gun. I do trust it to work, and that it would be very effective, but it's only 5 rounds, and it is slower to reload, and I don't even have speed loaders or speed strips or anything for this. So if I'm carrying this, as of right now, I would only have 5 rounds and just maybe loose rounds in my pocket, which is a bad idea. 17 rounds of 9mm are definitely better than just 5 rounds of 38 Special plus P. But 38 Special plus P is still a very effective gun. Let's put it back in my pocket. It also is it's more effective than a gun like this. This is a Sky CPX2. It is a 9mm, but it's only 10 rounds, and I only have 1 extra magazine for it, which is another 10 rounds. So 21 rounds of 9mm ammunition. It is good. It will probably do the job just fine. Chances are, if I ever had to use it, I would only need a couple of rounds, and that's it. But I would rather have, if I have the choice, I would rather have more rounds than less rounds. In other words, I would rather me use my gun and not use all of those rounds than to need those rounds and not have those rounds, if that makes sense. It's kind of like I would rather have my gun and not have to use it than need my gun and not have it. So it kind of falls into the same line of thinking. So I would carry a gun like this, no problem. In the summertime, I do plan on carrying this gun and this other gun, the Taurus, and maybe some other guns. I might, pick up some smaller guns as well, some other smaller guns. But in the winter months, I do prefer to carry a full-size pistol. It is fairly easy. I don't have a problem with it. I carried this pistol all morning today when I was shopping, and I had no problem with it. And in fact, carrying this 9mm is actually more comfortable inside the waistband than this is inside the waistband, because you have this cylinder and it kind of presses up against you, and you got the cylinder latch over here. I've just noticed that when carrying this gun inside the waistband, after a while, I do feel like things are poking me. I'm not really sure what it is that feels like it's poking me, if it's the cylinder latch, or the hammer, or what. But I have found that this gun carrying inside the waistband is less comfortable than this full-size pistol. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I can do it, but it's just not as comfortable. I don't know, it just kind of, it feels like it's bruising me after a while. Whereas this gun here, I don't have that problem. So anyway, that is how I carry a full-size pistol. If I wanted to carry 2 full-size pistols, I would get a double shoulder holster and wear it in the wintertime. I had that thought kind of crossed my mind when I got this second P89, because I do have 2 P89s now, and if I had a double shoulder holster for them, I could wear a double shoulder holster under a jacket, and the weight kind of is evenly distributed there. So if you wanted to carry 2 full-size pistols, a double shoulder holster is an option. And of course, a single shoulder holster is also an option as well if you just want to carry a full-size pistol. So anyway, that's how I carry a full-size pistol. I do plan on experimenting more with other pistols and other holsters in the future, but that's just what I have now. So subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.